I love dreaming big, maybe finding a middle ground. But to become a professional cage fighter and to become a jiu-jitsu instructor was dreaming big. I kind of want to start off a little different and tell you guys a little story. It's a true story. It was my wake-up call. Oh, hold on. It was my wake-up call in 2007. So I used to be a medic. I worked on an ambulance. I was hit by a diesel truck while driving home from work one day. So it was 7 a.m. I should have stayed at the station. I fell asleep trying to go home. When I was hit, I broke both of my shoulders. My leg was broken. My foot was turned around. And so that happened in 2007. In 2008, I barely started walking again. And I told the doctor, I said, hey, I had this dream. I want to be a professional cage fighter. My dad was a pro boxer. And the doctor said, you're lucky to be walking one day. Don't think about becoming a fighter one day. And it was really hard. I will say this, though. The doctor didn't know my dreams or anything like that. The doctor was basically doing his due diligence to tell me, like, hey, you need to focus on walking, right? But 2008 hit, 2009, 2010. And then I'm sitting there just sitting down. And I said, you know what? No, I want to become a professional cage fighter. I want to fight. I want to fight professionally, not in the streets. And I had this fire inside of me. And 2010, I did research online. I know you guys got like TikTok and all kinds of stuff now. Social media is so crazy now. But I had the basic internet. And I went online and I found the best gyms that had the best jiu-jitsu academy, which is my instructor, Eddie Bravo. I went with this guy named Mark Munoz. He is an OSU All-American wrestler. And I really found coaches, which are mentors, coaches that aligned with what I wanted to do in life. And so 2010 hit. In 2015, I became a professional cage fighter. I fought for Bellator MMA. I fought for Combate Americas. I traveled the world. I fought in China, in the Philippines, and I kind of did this career being an MMA fighter. It aligned with me becoming my own jiu-jitsu academy. So I own Tsunami Jiu-Jitsu. And do you guys know what jiu-jitsu is? Yeah? Okay. It's what? It's fighting techniques. Yeah, it is fighting techniques. For me, it's much more than fighting. I teach police officers. I teach military. I teach teens like you guys. I teach kids. I teach adults. For me, I'll kind of go through what my day looked like. So my day, I don't wake up in the morning and go like, oh, I'm going to beat somebody up today. That's not jiu-jitsu. For me, my day is really cool. I get a coffee in the morning. I'm a big coffee person. Don't start it, guys. And then I get up and I go to my gym. I love cleaning my mats. I don't hire a cleaning crew. Those mats are important to me. I have a lot of memories on those mats where I have sweated, I have bled, I have tears on those mats, and those mats are very meaningful to me. On top of that, I have a curriculum. Do you guys know what a curriculum is? Yeah, good. Curriculum, right? So I get to build my tactics, my style for my students. Everybody has their own if they're a good academy, and I get to write my own. So that's a cool thing, being an instructor, being able to put out stuff on my own. And the biggest thing is I love building rapport with my students, okay? Jiu-jitsu is not seasonal. Jiu-jitsu is forever. Self-defense is every day to me. I always tell my students, you're going to play soccer. Is soccer year-round? Maybe. They have like year-round sports, right? Football year-round? What about like NFL? Is the NFL year-round? Just right now, right? They had baseball season going on. Those are seasonal sports. To me, self-defense is not seasonal. Self-defense is twice a week, training, learning, developing, getting comfortable in situations, right? And I always tell my students, like, what sport are you playing right now, right? And we always talk about that. I talk to the parents and get to know them, and those are big things. The best part about my day is about 5 o'clock, I get to facilitate classes, teach classes. I get young adults like you guys coming in, and I hear about their day and I laugh. I learned some words. I don't even know all the terms right now, but I learned some cool words. But the biggest thing that I could tell you, if you want to be a jiu-jitsu instructor one day, the biggest thing to me is I get to translate what we do on the mat in real life. Jiu-jitsu is very hard. There's nothing easy about jiu-jitsu. You have to hold somebody down. You have to be held down by somebody. These are very high intense areas, and it's very emotional. How many of you guys have ever had some high emotions? All right, some bad emotions. And if you don't know how to control those emotions, some bad things can happen. And in jiu-jitsu, we learn to control those emotions, right? It's very important. I don't teach to hurt people. It's very much like, does anyone want to be like a police officer in the military one day? Is that anyone's kind of dream? Be great. And the big thing with that is being able to defend yourself, but also defend somebody else. There's a lot of mental health issues that are being recognized right now. And sometimes someone that's maybe trying to hurt somebody else, they're really having problems with themselves and they don't want to hurt anybody. But being a police officer or military one day, maybe it's very important to take jiu-jitsu and be able to teach somebody how to control a situation. It's very important. I have 3Ds. These come from my coach, Mark Munoz. If you guys see on the right, I was really big. I was 180 pounds when I had this dream. I was outside. My face barely fits the camera right there. But the biggest part of jiu-jitsu is getting started. This is 14 years. If you want to be a jiu-jitsu instructor, it is not 2 years, you become a fighter and you can teach. People that come to me, they recognize that I have good experience. And that's because I went through a good, rigorous program. That's Eddie Bravo, my professor. And you see us like we both look young on the right. And then on the left, we both look old. I'm about to be 40 this year. And so I got my black belt this year, 14 years. And the coolest thing about jiu-jitsu is I've had my gym for about 9 years. I got it when I was a brown belt. But he was such a good mentor to me. He never told me, don't chase the belt, John. Don't chase the belt. Develop yourself. Become a better person for your students and for anybody else in life. So those of you guys thinking that you want to be a fighter or maybe teach jiu-jitsu one day, is finding a good mentor. You need to have discipline. Discipline, the same thing for school. Sometimes you don't want to do, does everyone want to do homework every day? Raise your hand if you want to do homework every day. No? Oh man, I'm a nerd. I love homework. But discipline is being able to do your homework when you don't want to do it, right? It's not being motivated. You just have to do it. Does everyone want to come to school every day? But you're here. You know what that is? That's discipline. That's discipline. You are disciplined to come. Not everybody has to come, right? And it's very important that you guys are learning that at a young age. It's awesome. You need to have desire for anything that you want to do in life. If you love it, you're going to want to do it. And the last part is direction. You need to have direction if you want to be a jiu-jitsu instructor or if you want to be anything in life. You need to have direction, okay? You guys remember, this one is actually a very emotional picture for me. When the pandemic hit in 2020, I was forced to retire from MMA. I was actually training at my gym, and then a police officer came and said, you need to close your gym down. You cannot, I told him, hey, I'm a professional fighter. I'm getting ready for a fight. And I was forced to close my gym. And it's very hard for me as a fighter and getting older. I didn't have that many more years to fight in combat sports. And I love teaching, and I wanted to still reach the kids and help out. So I went with this organization called Beat the Streets Los Angeles. It was a organization to help get kids off the streets through wrestling. If you could see here, I had to put them 6 feet apart. I had to put a mask on their face, and it's very emotional for me. Like I said, it was very hard to be here, but we were together. We were together. We were outside. We were grinding. We were learning. We were developing our wrestling techniques even far from apart. And some of the kids on these days told me, Coach, this is the best part. Why? Because they've been stuck in the house all day. So this is a very important picture to me as I transition my life. Total opposite of that as I transition. I had nothing to do. I could not fight anymore. I had no training. What am I going to do? I love horror. I don't know. Is there any horror fans in here? All right, right? I love horror and I love scary movies. I love horror literature. And so it piqued my interest. One day I was writing just for fun, writing for fun, writing. And then 1 week later, I'm like, dude, this is like a cool little book. And I was like, man, how would it be to publish? And I was like, maybe I'll write a book. And I landed out writing my first book. And I have a quote. It's called, I write to intrigue, not to harm. Some people can say horror is not good. It's not a good thing. But if you write for you and you write to be you, it's okay. It's okay to be you. Does anyone like to write in here? Anyone like to write for fun? You like to write? What do you like to write? I love that. That goes with this right here. What does it look like to be a writer, right? So me specifically, I'm older. I like to travel and write. My day looks like, once again, coffee. And I love a beautiful scenic view. I love to go to rooftops and look over and write. I love to go to the beach. Does anyone like to travel at a young age already? Where do you like to go? Yeah. Imagine riding in Hawaii with the water all over and just smelling the ocean. I love riding with views. I write 6 to 10 hours. My students say I lock in, coach, when they're getting ready for a combat city. I lock in, coach. I lock in. I lock in when I write. I love writing. I lock in, and I just enjoy being a writer. On top of that, I am a poet with it. I get to perform my pieces. So not just putting it out I have a book at Barnes and Noble right now, but not just putting it out. I also host live events. I create a fan base on social media, and effective marketing is very important for this type of career and engaging performances. The last part about this, through MMA, through Jiu Jitsu, through writing, everything that I wanted in life comes from Jiu Jitsu. It really does. For me specifically, since I could not fight anymore and I transitioned my life, I recently went back to school. I went back to school right when the pandemic hit, and I had my first book. I graduated from Rio Hondo College with my associates in psychology. I'm literally finishing up my degree in psychology, my bachelor's, my undergraduate at Cal State Fullerton right now. I just took what's called the MCAT. I'm a neuroscience major to go to med school possibly. So I've done so much in the last portion of my life right now towards hitting 40 this year, and it's been super great. Does anyone like psychology? Is anyone interested in psychology? All right, very cool. That is my thing. That is my area. I love it so much. We're going to open up for Q&A, but I want to do something with you guys real quick. This is AVID, right? We're all in AVID here. I did AVID 20 years back in the days, okay? But I want to do something with you guys. Does everyone have a piece of paper and pencil? Yes? Okay, cool. So do me a favor. With whatever hand you write with, I want you to sign your name. Go ahead and sign your name on that piece of paper. Ready? Humor me. Go for it. And then let me see when you're done. Show me your guys' paper really quick. Anywhere. You could do it anywhere, but do it in a space open. Okay, I like that portion right there. Let me see. Let's do it over here. Do it on the clear box so you can write underneath it right after. So, okay. Humor me one more time. Put that pencil out again. Count to 5 with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch hands. Yes. What is something you thought when I told you to switch hands? Oh no? What else? Strange? Confused? My handwriting sucks? Okay, these are all valid things. These are all valid things. Okay, strange, confused, my handwriting sucks. Hard. Do you think if you had to use that other hand, you could sign perfectly one day? Maybe. How long would it take? Your maybe. How long? A week? 2 years? A year. But could you do it? How long would it take you? 10 years. How long would it take you? If you had to, how long, honestly, how long would it take you? 5 years? 2 months? Yeah. A year? Okay, so listen, I have 10 years, I have 5 years, and I have 2 months, possibly. What would it take to do it in 2 months? What do you think it would take? Writing with that hand every single day. So that is called practice. You guys that are getting ready to go to high school or having a thought of being a professional jiu-jitsu coach one day or anything in life, it's scary the first time. It's scary, right? But what you guys just said yourselves right now, with practice, I can do it in 2 months. I could do it in 10 years. I could do it in 5 months. You guys can accomplish anything in life, but it's just going to take practice. All right. I appreciate you guys so much. We're going to open it up. Do we have Q&A time, or is that too long? Are we good? Okay. I went to Santa Fe High School in Santa Fe Springs. Yeah, go Chiefs. Yeah.
Middle school. I mean, in college.
In college, what kind of say it again?
What kind of person do you think you were?
What kind of person? So I'm in college now. What kind of person do I think I was? I was a short person in college. I'm a short person, but I would say I was actually sharing this. I'm the old guy. I have the young students messaging me like, "Hey, Grandpa, do you have the notes for this one?" So I'm the old person there right now. What do I love most? What do I love most about my career? I love that it happened. I love that it happened because I didn't go to college right away. I didn't go right away. I wish I had mentors to really guide me, but like I told you guys, my dad was a pro boxer. He's like, you're gonna be a fighter. That's what you're gonna be, And I think over time, my career made me who I am today. Question?
Oh, when did you graduate?
Oh man, we're gonna go back. When did I graduate high school? I graduated in 2002. Oh two. I am gonna be 40 this year. Yeah, I have my walker outside. I'm just kidding. Any other questions, guys? We good?
His college.
Yes.
Um, when you first started jiu-jitsu, like, how did you feel? Or when you first started, like, training to fight?
Training to fight. How did I feel when I first started training to fight? I felt excited. For me, it was different. It wasn't. I wasn't even nervous because I wanted it. I knew what I wanted, so I was excited. And every day I got to go and, it was good. Yeah.
How did you choose the college that you wanted to attend?
How did I choose the college? So I've always wanted to go to Cal State Los Angeles, Cal State LA. That was my like dream school for a while. And I went to Cal State Fullerton to actually go look at the campus when I was touring for the psychology program. And when I got on campus, it blew me away. Everything at Cal State Fullerton was awesome. So it was actually being on the campus and taking tours is what changed my mind. But yes. At college, so I'm a psychology major now, and in graduate school, I'm going to be a neuroscience major.
Was there, like, any roadblocks you had fighting?
Roadblocks in fighting, I would say my leg that happened, right? The messed up leg. And big roadblocks was the pandemic, obviously, that kind of stopped me from fighting. And I would say the last roadblock was believing in myself, believing I can really do it. That was really hard, and I just had to do it.
Who was the person that inspired you to go to college?
Who is the person inspired? My coach, Mark Munoz. So when people say words, guys, I just want to put this out there also. If you ever say a word like honor and strength, and you guys really mean it, really mean it. This man I met, my mentor, Mark Munoz, every time he spoke, he meant everything he said. And it was so cool to meet somebody like that because people can be fake in the jiu-jitsu world too. There can be fake people everywhere. And this man was an amazing man. And everything he said, he does. And everything that I say at my school and my classes, I do or I show with what I'm doing.
Were you involved in any sports?
In high school, I did everything. I was in wrestling. I played volleyball. I did junior Olympic volleyball as a guy. It's crazy because this is junior high, right? In junior high, I played on the all girls volleyball team. I was a short guy and no girls would talk to me. So I played on the all girls volleyball team to meet some girls just to talk for fun. And then the coach was like, hey, they have high school volleyball for boys. And I was like, what? And then I liked it and I was good at it. And then I actually went on the junior Olympic team for the men's. Any other questions? Nope.
We do have some questions for
Sure.
you. So, as you're a student now, what would you say to help us get a good career?
To get a good career, I would say find find a find a mentor. It's very hard to do things in life by yourself. So find a good mentor that you can relate to it. And just so you guys know, specifically to I'm sure your teachers tell you this, but when you have a mentor, if you have a mentor that's an adult, it's always very important to put yourself with another student or an adult in your guys' emails. Very important with good boundaries at a young age to be able to do that. I help a lot of students on my end. So a good mentor, I believe, is the first aspect. And then going for it and finding whatever you want and finding out how to accomplish that. Right?
So, what's the most, like, challenging part
Challenging part about my job. Oh, I would say the kids class. I have everywhere from 5 years old to 55. But if you ever had like 5 or 10 year olds, does anyone have nieces and cousins and everything like that? When you're trying to teach jujitsu, you need to be able to relate to kids also. Every student is important as a coach. Every student. You can't just focus on the one who has it and does it good. The team is a team. So I would say the being able to relate what I'm doing with some of the younger minds.
So what subject in like your school helped you to get to your career?
What subject in school right now? School right now or school before? Any. Um, I would say psychology right now. I'd say psychology, being able to understand and learn all, not just the theories, but learn how people can be. One of the biggest words that I keep going back to is super important, especially as a coach. I didn't learn this throughout high school. I didn't learn it till after, and I teach it to my kids now. Is boundaries. You need to learn boundaries as a young adult and as an adult, and I think that makes me very good at what I'm doing. Hold on, I think he has one more too. Who or what? My coach, Mark Munoz. He was a graduate from OSU. He fought in the UFC. His name was Mark Munoz. I think his title was the Filipino Wrecking Machine. But he had told me something very cool, and he had said, "Hey John," when I was transitioning, I told him, "Hey coach, I'm going to junior college, right?" And he said, "Cool." He said, what are you doing for the next 8 years?" You know, and I was like, "I'm going to be teaching, coach." And this night I said, "Okay, so what are you doing for the next 8 years?" "So I'm going to work, coach." He said, "Go to school while you're working. In 8 years, you can have your PhD. You can do the same thing you did in MMA." And I literally like this right now, right? So Mark Munoz.
So what's like what's the best thing about your job?
The best thing about my job, I would say changing people's lives. Changing people's lives. My students come in all different areas. You have to know your students. And I'll share one really fast. His name is Jesse Hernandez. Um, Amazing young man. And through jiu-jitsu and through wrestling, he never thought he would go to college. He never thought he'd wrestle in college. All his friends, no one goes to college now. He is the first person in his family to go to college. He wrestles at Cerritos College right now. And he always tells me, he's like, "Coach, I'm not even smart, coach. I don't know what I'm doing, coach." He's a straight A student right now. Straight A student because why? He's disciplined. While his friends are going out and they're hanging out and they're doing things, he texts me, "Hey, coach, I don't understand this." And he's doing homework. He's doing the stuff he has to do. Not because he wants to do it. He doesn't want to do it in his mind. Little by little, I think he does want to do it. But right there, he doesn't want to do it. He'd rather be out with his friends and do other things. And seeing that course change his life, and as a freshman in college, and wrestling, it's something cool. His friends go watch him. It's not the other way around. So it's really cool.
What's one thing about your job that people find very surprising?
What do they find that's surprising? I think everything that I do. I don't do one thing. If you guys saw, so I'll give you total right now really quick. I'm a full-time student. I'm taking 14 units right now. I am a father, so I have kids. I coach Santa Fe High School twice a week. I'm the women's head coach for wrestling right now. My daughter's there, so I coach the wrestling team there. I own my own jiu-jitsu academy, so I teach there, and I have my other students do that as well. And then, like I said, I'm applying to graduate schools right now. So I'm doing a lot. And I'm a published author. I love writing. So there's just so much. There's a lot. But I have a schedule. Whoever stays after you want to see, I literally do a schedule to a T. My coach taught me that. And it says Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And inside of that, I have it to a T. 6 a.m. study, home class at this time, and I go straight to it. And I work in mental health. I have to have a job to pay for all this stuff. So I have a lot of things going. But if you're disciplined and you have your criteria going, you can do so much. There's so much time in a day. There really is.
So what advice would you give us to have a career?
What advice would I give you? So if you want to, there's two different areas. If you want to be a jiu-jitsu instructor, if you want your own gym one day, you need to find a really good professor. You need to find a good instructor, a good gym. That way, when you open up yours, you have a good foundation of jiu-jitsu skills, right? You don't necessarily need to be a good competitor. You need to know how jiu-jitsu works and how to teach. I would also recommend, you don't need college. Man, I would really recommend college to you guys. You find yourself there. You really do. You find the discipline to be able to do things. You learn about yourself. You have friends. I'm grandpa at school right now, right? I have good friends that are older and younger, but I really found myself barely now. And like I said, my parents didn't go to college. I'm the first one. And even though I went later in life, it's never too late or too early to start. So the skills you need for that, definitely a good school to go to jiu-jitsu. Some background in college so you can pay your bills, you know how to pay the bills, and you know how to do all that. As a writer, what skills would you need? Definitely recommend college, because then you're going to write something and your grammar is going to be off and everything's going to be off, and then it's going to look really weird and you're going to feel really weird. So learning some good writing skills at the basic, even like community college would be great.
So before your accident, do you ever think that you'd be an MMA?
Before my accident, no, I hoped I would be an MMA fighter, but I didn't think I would be an MMA fighter. I think it was more of a hope. And then after the accident, the day that they told me no, I knew I was going to get there eventually.
Well, thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Cool. Thank you guys. You guys were awesome. Very cool. I appreciate you guys so much.